Everyone have a good morning. I'm glad to see there's so many people here, so many good faces, lots of existing customers, some new faces we haven't met before. But quick introduction, as Ravi said, I'm the support manager here in EMEA, and I want to kind of give you an introduction about our support team here in Europe, and basically how we operate and what we can provide as a service to your company. Right, so I want to start a little bit with kind of our values, basically. This is kind of the mantra. This is how our support team worldwide operates. And basically, we believe customer success is our own success. We want to make sure that your business is successful. If your business is having issues, we want to help you. We want to make sure that we can address those issues, improve your business, find your pain points, and fix those, basically. We believe that personal relationships build better products. So if you talk to us, we talk to you, we get a very good, close relationship. We can understand those pain points. Maybe we can help you change your product, change your application. Maybe you can help us understand where we need to change our product. So we have lots of personal relationships with large customers, and this helps us design and improve the product continuously. We also believe in having regional experts integrated with engineering. So even though this is a support team, we're actually embedded with the engineering teams. So when you come across and you ask us, hey, how does this component work? Or what does this bit of line of code do? We can go, and we're co-located with our engineering teams. So we don't need to make a phone call, send an email. We can go across the other desk and go, hey, can you help us understand how this works? Even if needed, we can set up a call with yourself and have the engineer who wrote the code and go through the detail with you. So we're very, very technically minded, very strongly integrated with our engineering teams. So as Bob mentioned and Ravi mentioned, we have a massive large customers that use Couchbase in mission-critical situations. And as I said before, customer success is our own success. And I want to point out a few of these customers. So there's a term in the industry, a unicorn. So a company that's worth $1 billion. These are sort of our Couchbase unicorns. In just the past year, these 4 companies have been acquired recently, and all for over $1 billion, basically. So 2 of these are in Europe, 2 of these in the US. Viber and Playtika are both in Israel. Viber was recently acquired for nearly $1 billion. Playtika, nearly $4 billion. And these are massive successes. Over in the US, LinkedIn, Concur, as you can see, $8.3 billion, $26.2 billion, massive companies. And we're extremely proud of the help and assistance we've been able to provide and make sure that they were a success in their business. And all 4 of these customers were using Couchbase in mission-critical situations. These weren't side projects. These weren't little installations that some developer had kind of brought up. These were the core bits of their business. Couchbase drove these companies, and this is the success that they were able to achieve. We're extremely proud of that. So I want to talk a little bit about the architecture. This isn't going to go into the technical detail, but I just want to very quickly explain a little bit about Couchbase. So a lot of you have already used Couchbase. This is probably not new to you, but if you haven't used Couchbase, I wanted to kind of give you a very brief introduction. So as you can see on the top here, we've got an application tier. This is your application that you provide. This is using our SDKs. You can have a couple of these, hundreds of these, thousands of these. And these all scale out as many as you need, basically. This can be mobile. This can be server-based. It can be web servers, that sort of thing. And then you've got your Couchbase cluster here. Again, I've only shown a very small cluster. This can go to hundreds of nodes easily. So, and each of these nodes are completely shared nothing architecture, so they all use the same software underneath. And then we've got our cross data center replication. So you can take this whole structure and then replicate it in 2 different regional locations so that you can prevent sort of outages and have maintenance periods, that sort of thing. So for instance, if your application tier, if you need to do an upgrade, our system is extremely resilient. It can handle doing an upgrade, application tier, individual nodes going offline. Perhaps your hardware has failed on one of your Couchbase server nodes. It doesn't matter. We can handle that. It's extremely resilient. And again, with our cross-data center replication, you can lose an entire data center and keep running. This is what Ravi was saying. This is what Bob was saying. It's mission critical, always up, 5-9 sort of reliability. It's exactly what we provide. And the reason why I want to mention this is from a technical support perspective, if you come from a traditional database background, your normal RDBMS, you might expect that, hey, our database has gone offline. That might be a P1 critical situation. This is pretty uncommon in Couchbase, actually, because we're so resilient. You can actually, if your hardware fails, it's fine. We have a scale-out architecture, very, very resilient. And it's actually quite rare that we have these sort of critical situations in technical support, thankfully. So these large customers rely on Couchbase. We help them be successful. But also, there's also other questions, other kind of advice, other kind of information that we provide. It's not just when the systems go down or there's an issue. We also help get the best performance, the best kind of configuration, the best setup that you can achieve. So some very common questions. How do I get the best performance from my database? I'm quite happy to answer that, and you can ask, come and see me after the talk, and I'm more than happy to kind of go through the detail. But I'd rather you see it from our customers. So, after this talk, there's going to be a talk from Amadeus and another talk from Criteo. They'll show you, as Ravi mentioned, 25 million queries a second. That was helped with kind of the tuning and the hands-on support that we were able to provide. So another common question, what's the best method to add resilience and high availability? There's loads of different ways to do this. There's a whole raft of different features that we have in the product. Again, working with us as a support team and a field team, we can help you get the best out of your configuration. What works best for you? And getting that personal relationship, make sure that we can understand your pain points and help you get the best configuration possible. So another very common question, how do I plan for a huge event that will increase my traffic? So these are your Black Fridays, your Christmas, whatever your business, your specific need is. Almost every business will have a massive peak period, maybe once a year, maybe every quarter. We can help you with that. We've got that experience. We've helped loads of customers through these sort of events. We've got personal relationships with 3 of the top 10 Fortune 10 companies in the world. We've helped them with their critical, live, high-demand situations. So again, there's a talk later on today about surviving Black Friday. I encourage you to go and attend that talk. We're going to go into some detail about some of the things that we've done with customers and help them kind of work through these situations. And I'm very proud to say, last year we helped massive companies such as Dixon's and Walmart and a whole range of massive companies, and didn't have a single issue. It was very good, actually. So I'm extremely proud to say that. And this last question on here might seem a bit strange, but it does come up. How do I lower my cloud computing bills? It might seem very unusual. Why would you ask your database company this? But in actual fact, again, we believe personal relationships help improve your situation, your configuration. We can give you some advice. Perhaps you want to use our new subdocument API feature. With some of our customers, they were able to lower their bandwidth bills by 90% by using this feature, because it only has to send the deltas, the little bits of the information, instead of the entire document. You might not know about these new features. So again, we've got that experience, that insight in the deep technical background in the product, that we can give you the advice and help you understand what works best for your kind of pain points. And again, if there is other questions, we've got a knowledge base. This is exclusive for enterprise customers, supported customers. There's a whole raft of technical information on here that goes into quite good detail about situations that we've encountered from other customers, and we can give you detail about what little tuning and tweaks you can make to improve your performance or your reliability or those sort of things. And the thing I really want to point out is the announcements here. So if you go to this website and then you click on the announcements, there's a subscription button on the top. You click on that, and anytime we release a new version of an SDK, so as you can see here, the new PHP client, for instance, you'll get an email. So you can keep up to date with what the new versions are and make sure you can see the release notes. And it's a push relationship. So you get an email and you don't have to keep watching what's on our website. So again, I encourage you to go onto the knowledge base and subscribe to the announcements so you can see the new versions as they come out. So again, personal relationships driving better products. Some of our EMEA customers we've got very, very good relationships with. We have very close relationships with our technical account managers who speak with these customers. And they came to us and said, hey, Couchbase, we love your product. You're fantastic. You got great performance, super reliability. But we want some little extra features. We want you to be able to do rack zone awareness. So what this is we've got a data center. We want to make sure that we put half our Couchbase nodes in one rack and half in another rack, and make sure that if that rack goes offline, that all the replica information, so all the copies of your data are automatically located on the other rack. We said, okay, not a problem. We can implement that for you. And so we've implemented that, and it's been a massive success. Loads and loads of customers use it, and it's also used for the cloud environment. So if you're aware of Amazon Web Services, they have availability zones. You can put half your Couchbase nodes in one availability zone, half in another, or you could even split it into multiples. So some of our customers might have 6 different availability zones in their data center. That way, if a whole availability zone goes offline, you don't lose your data, you don't lose your access to your data. It's all replicated, automatically handled for you. And again, we've added that as a request from our customers. So working with us as a technical support side, we can understand your pain points and go, yeah, not a problem. We can work together and implement these features. Again, the global reader and writer pool, we had some customers that had lots and lots of data access with varied architectures, lots of buckets, and they wanted to be able to tune the reading and writing from the I/O system. So we said, yep, not a problem, implemented that and delivered that. Filtered cross-data center replication. So I mentioned earlier cross-data center replication. This is how you can replicate from one region to another, all of your entire cluster. One of our customers came to us and said, hey, that's great, we love this cross-data center replication, but what we want to do actually is we want to take a Couchbase cluster at our HQ, and we actually want to take another Couchbase cluster and put it at our customer site. But we don't want them to have access to all of our customers. We want them to just have access to their own data. We said, oh, okay, that's an interesting idea. Let's work together on that. So we came up with this idea together, building these kind of prototypes, and it's now in production, is this filtered cross-data center replication. So what they do is take a really big Couchbase cluster at HQ, and then at each of their customers, they've got another Couchbase cluster, a little small delivered actual hardware stack that they give to the customer. And on that, they've got a filter so that only sends that customer's data to each of those remote clusters. And in that way, each of their customers have a little local cache and has very, very quick access to any of the data that they need access to. And it automatically gets updated from HQ, and it's got bidirectional XDCR. So any updates that the customer makes to that data gets sent back to our customer's HQ and vice versa. So fantastic versatility. And again, we delivered that as a request from a customer. And the last one I'll mention is Ldap integration. So This is very common in large organizations, big enterprise. You know, you've got an existing authentication system. You don't want to create another password, another username. Let's kind of tie into our existing infrastructure. So we implemented that and delivered that. So I talked a little bit about regional experts, integrative engineering. As we mentioned earlier, we've got experts in the Americas, EMEA, and APAC. We're spread in regional locations, integrated with engineering, so that we can provide 24/7 support around the clock. So my team here in EMEA is based in Manchester in England. We also have a team in Israel, so we can provide the time zone difference across all of Europe. We also have engineering teams across all of Europe, more countries than I can mention, but again, it's having that local knowledge and local expertise in varying time zones around the world. So I'll quickly ask the support and engineering folks who've come and joined us to quickly stand up. So I want to point you out. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So if you do have any questions and you see these guys walking around in the foyer, please do approach them and ask any questions. Super talented group. Very proud of the engineering prowess that they do have. So talk a little bit about the expertise again. So all of our support engineers in the entire worldwide support team are hired and trained at an engineering level. You might have seen, if you've worked with other vendors, you call into the help desk, you get an L1 engineer basically. All they do is ask you, oh, what kind of OS you're running, this is how you collect logs, and that's the extent of their skill. Then they'll pass that on to an L2. The L2 will sit there with a script and go, all right, if it's this, I'll do this. If it's this, they don't actually know the product inside and out. They basically are reading from a script. We don't do any of that at Couchbase. We only hire basically L3 engineers. You get to jump that queue. You get to go straight to the guys who can understand the source code, have a very deep understanding of the product, and it helps us quickly identify and fix problems. Again, you know, if you compare our competitors to the way that Couchbase operates, at our competitors, you have to nominate your contacts that are allowed to open tickets and work with support. We don't operate that fashion. You know, our competitors, you might pick one or two support contacts, but then the rest of your organization has to speak to those support contacts, and then they speak to the vendor. We find that is not so productive for getting clear information. Things get lost when it goes through multiple channels. You don't quite get the same feeling for what the issue is. So we don't operate in that fashion. Again, it's the personal relationships. We believe that getting that personal touch straight to the engineering teams, back to the customer, is the only way to operate. So we talked a little bit about SLAs. This is how we operate in Couchbase. We've got 3 different levels of SLAs. We've got silver, gold, and platinum. Our silver is more for startups and smaller organizations. It's more business hours in EMEA, so we align the business hours with the region that the customer is in. So in Europe, the business hours are from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the UK time. And then you get a 5 business hour P1 response time. Our gold and platinum SLAs, that's 24/7, 365 days a year. And this is regionally handled by this worldwide team that we have. So again, you can get a 2-hour P1 response, or even our platinum level, half-hour P1 response. And if you think back to what I was saying about the level of expertise of our support engineers, this isn't an L1 that contacts you in half an hour. This is a L3 engineering level kind of support. So we can quickly identify any issues, help you with your situation, and get you up and running if there's a P1 sort of situation. And as Bob mentioned, we're very proud of our SLA percentage that we've been able to hit. We have a very strict kind of difficult goal of keeping above 98%, and we were able to match that and actually meet that. In the year to date, we're actually about 99% meeting the SLA. So very proud of that, and it just kind of shows the talent that the team does have. Also, as Bob mentioned, we provide surveys. So after the support case is finished, there's an automatic survey that gets sent out to our customers. And we get about 30 of those back every month. And to the year to date, 96% of those have been a positive response. Again, this is amazing. This is really above the industry standards. I believe the industry standard is about 80% for a positive response. Speaking personally, I've been in this industry for quite a few number of years. Our VP of support has been doing this working in support for decades. He's never seen anything above 90%. So 96% is amazing. And again, it goes to show the quality and the attentiveness that our support team does provide. So to go through the kind of the last bit is again, we believe customer success is our own success. Personal relationships drive better products. And we believe in regional experts integrated with engineering. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.